So let's talk about some of the important initiatives taking place at the social level and in the context of poverty, gang violence, generally difficult conditions for some people. Behind the bridge and even discrimination in East Port of Spain can be a tough area to prosper. The East Port of Spain Thrive initiative seeks to create a community where young people will have the opportunity to create strong neighborhoods and families where every child can learn, grow, and succeed. Here to talk about it are Dr. Oti Esimaje and Dr. Anderson Franklin. Gentlemen, welcome to Morning Edition.
Morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
So tell me about this East Port of Spain Thrive initiative. What are some of the strategies being adopted to assist with dealing with these disadvantaged and underprovided for communities?
Okay. Well, the Esimaje Foundation has been working in high-needs communities for a number of years. This is our 10th year. And the next 5 years, we're focused on East Port of Spain. What we hope to do is transform it into, well, a part of it called the Nelson Village campus, bordered by George Street on the west, Piccadilly Street on the east, Siparia Hill on the north, and Independence Square on the south, into a campus called the Nelson Village campus, where we'll be primarily implementing what we call a cradle-to-career pipeline, working with a number of NGOs, and we'll be working in the schools to make sure that each child can transition into a career. And we'll be implementing a few programs, community-based programs, health involvement called Health First, parenting educational programs for the fathers, teachers training, a number of different things. And we've actually had a pilot. I was here last year with one of the successes out of the pilot with one family out of Duke Street, who as led by our chairman, Dr. David Toby, adopted the family. And the 3 boys have now graduated into one of them was here with me last year. He was being sponsored to Holt University in California, and the other ones are now following suit. And what we want to do is expand that program into community-based, full-length community-based intervention with different facets. And part of it would involve collaboration with a number of NGOs, and that is what Dr. Franklin is going to be working with us on.
Oh, great. Well, Dr. Franklin, you can tell us a bit about the NGOs with which you're working, and how are these initiatives being funded?
I'm not sure how they all will be funded. It's a major undertaking, and one of the reasons that I'm happy to be in Trinidad and Tobago is to bring the work that I have been doing across the country and in other places around the world, to bring organizations together. Since I've been at Boston College, my position as a Honorable David S. Nelson Professional Chair is to create a Nelson Chair Roundtable to bring NGOs together to work against organizations trying to work in communities to partner together, to not be silos and work so independently. And so we've created a roundtable in which we have brought all these organizations together. We just had a major roundtable event where we brought 80 organizations together in Boston to concentrate on one targeted neighborhood. And we find that is much more effective to work as a coalition to try to address the issues of poor achievement in education, the lack of homelessness, instability of families. That working together as a coalition, as a partnership, has much better effectiveness for interventions.
But when you consider the magnitude of the intervention required in these communities, are you not taking on the role of the state in that every government ought to have an obligation to provide the right environment for its citizens to thrive, to be safe, and of course to expand their communities and grow their communities? What you're attempting to do here is in many ways you're replacing the role of the state, is it not?
Absolutely not. No, the state is at the table, has to be at the table. It's all parties that are concerned and interested in the community that wants to be a part of the intervention should be at the table.
So is it that you have a strong relationship with the state, with the government, in the interest of obtaining funding for these initiatives? Is that it?
Well, in terms of funding, we know everybody has a stake in making sure that our country is safe, because it affects everybody eventually. And in this particular project, we want funding to come 80% from non-government funding, private citizens. We've talked about it on radio before. Some people have called saying, look, I mean, I'm not a millionaire, but I can give $1,000 a month, because this is like, if the whole thing implodes, then everybody's affected. We're looking at contacting international organizations, local organizations for funding. But I think we've gone past that stage where, everything must be done by the government. The government is important. The Ministry of Education has given its approvals. We're speaking to the MPs and everybody else that is involved, because you're looking at the health center in George Street. You're looking at entrepreneurship programs and all these things. So they're important. And I must say that we've had government support through CSP of the Ministry of National Security, going into where they've sent us into different communities before. But in designing this whole thing, we want more civil organizations, private people, private industry. And I must say that even in our last endeavors, like our scholarships, for these families, we've had private citizens give towards these things. And some people, and there's one of the projects we implement is called One-on-One, where family will adopt another family.
Right.
And these people, they want to get involved, but nobody's going to go behind the bridge saying, look, which family can we take on? So we would provide that bridge so that people who want to do something else can do that.
Yeah, and that's great work. But Dr. Franklin, in terms of the sustainability of these interventions, how can you ensure that this is not just a fly-by-night, flash in the pan kind of engagement to be replaced by yet another form of social intervention? That's
the importance of having everybody at the table talking about sustainability. If this is an important method and procedure for working with the community, for strengthening the community, for building up the community, and everybody has a stake in it. And that's having a stakeholder becomes the important ingredient in sustainability. So if it is something that is producing the kind of outcome you want, then it is something worthy to continue investing in.
You mentioned, and very quickly, you mentioned that some of this work has also been done in Boston.
Yes.
What kind of successes have you achieved in terms of this kind of intervention in Boston?
So we have been able to get all persons together at the table, not everybody, but a significant number of organizations, including the mayor's office. So government is also involved. But the other important piece of the puzzle is that we have residents involved. The residents are committed to this particular intervention. And so just having resident participation is important. We have the principals of the schools in the area involved, and they're talking to each other. So we have had some improvement in academic achievement as a result of this collaboration.
Great. So there are tangible results that are quite measurable.
Absolutely.
As far as identifying how successful this program can be.
Yes. And we will be tracking 13 indicators. We'll be looking at 10 results that we're looking for and 5 outcomes. Results like children getting ready for primary school, students proficient in core academic subjects, students successfully transition, because in some of the schools is they get the students that score less than 20 in the SEA. So this, so we're looking at youth graduating from high school, students that are healthy. So we'll be tracking 10 results to get 5 outcomes. So it will be a statistically based intervention, and it's modeled after what you call promised neighborhoods, which were started in Harlem, and has been spread to different parts of the States.
But this is excellent work, excellent work. And Dr. Franklin, I certainly do hope that you find the same level of success in Trinidad and Tobago as you would have found in Boston, and I certainly do wish you all the best.
You can reach us on 329-1529.
329-1529.
1529. We're in St. James. The email address is the Esimaje Foundation at Gmail. THEESIMAJE Foundation at gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can
at gmail.com.
Right.
Yeah.
The conference this week is at UNESCO's office in St. Clair. There will be a minimum of 10 NGOs meeting, facilitated by Dr. Franklin.
Okay.
And feel free to give us a call and be part of East Port of Spain Thrive.
Yes, East Port of Spain Thrive. Folks, make sure and support it. We have another clip of the great one, Muhammad Ali, and just have a look at this. We'll be back.